Today we're going to be doing intermediate. I'm going to show you traditional grip and I'm going to show you this is Clayton Skinner. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Beat. Hello, my name is Clayton Skinner and this is Beyond the Beat. In this episode is going to be part 3 of the Moeller pull-out accent, and we're going to be bouncing in 4s. Now the concept behind this one is very similar to the last video, or part 2. The last video we did bouncing in 3s, and this one we're going to be bouncing in 4s. These exercises are going to be a lot different. They're going to be a little bit easier, but they're also going to be tricky in their own way. Everything that we're going to be doing is basically going to be the same kind of layout as the last video, except obviously we're bouncing in 4s. So let's begin. So the first exercise, it's a pumping motion. But only this time we're going to be bouncing in 4s with the hand that we're bouncing in. The other hand, of course, will be playing quarter notes as we go along. Now what makes this tricky, won't be as hard as the last one, but what makes it tricky though is sometimes bouncing in 4s can be a little difficult. It's more bounce, it's more power that needs to be generated, it's more concentration that needs to be used in order to achieve all 4 bounces before you start over again. Basically that's the trickiest part about this. So give this exercise a try, listen to the demonstration, have fun. This exercise we're going to be utilizing the pull-out accent. So just like before, you're going to be playing the bounces, the 4 bounces up until beat 2, where you'll do the pull-out accent, stopping it. And that will line up, of course, with the hi-hat or with the right hand or the opposite hand playing on the quarter notes. Again, start up again on number 3, same thing, bounce 4 times, stop it on 4. Wait till 1, so on and so forth. Make sure you use a metronome. You want to make sure that you don't go too fast right away because, you want to make sure that you get all those bounces in. You're bouncing 4 times, so just make sure that all 4 bounces are nice and clear and that everything lines up again with the 2 and the 4. That's where the pull-out occurs. So let's see how you do. Now we're going to start playing 8th notes with our opposite hand. Again, a helpful tip, or just a bit of advice, is they don't necessarily always want to play the 8th notes one way. You can use the pumping motion, or you can use just a straight up tap. It doesn't matter. You want to maybe try to use both ways. These 8th notes line up with, so if you're counting 16th notes when you're bouncing in 4s, it lines up with the ands. So everything lines up here. There's no notes being played between notes. There's no polyrhythm being played. These line up a little bit more simple. The trick to it, though, is the same thing that I've been saying all along. It's the fact that you have to bounce 4 times. You have to make sure that that hit lines up with the 3rd hit of the bounce. 1 E and 2 E and. You have to make sure that everything lines up. Lining things up can sometimes be just as tricky as having to place something between something. So in a lot of ways it's tricky in its own way, but on paper it should be actually easier. I don't know. It's up to you. So listen to the demonstration, see how you do. Okay, now we're going to be doing the pull-out accent. So remember, the pull-out accent pulls out on 2 and pulls out on 4. You want to make sure that you keep that eighth note pattern going between it. You're not stopping, waiting, and then starting up, stopping, waiting, and starting up again. You have to actually keep that eighth note pattern going. So listen to my demonstration. Make sure you use a metronome. Make sure you set that metronome to eighth notes like I'm doing so that you can hear everything lining up properly. All right, let's see. So like I said, make sure you use a metronome. They might help actually to do what I was doing, like I said before, again, is to set the metronome to the eighth note and line everything up, or seeing how they line up before you start playing with your opposite hand. Little helpful advice. You can also do where you kind of give yourself a bit of a momentum, you give yourself a head start by tapping at the eighth note and then lining everything up. But you want to make sure that you don't just learn it that way. You want to make sure that you're also able to start it and continue on. Start it and continue on. I don't think I have anything else to give. No. All right. Well, that's all for now. If you have any questions or comments concerning the Moeller pump, the Moeller pull-out accent, make sure you get a hold of me through the email section at claytonskinner.com, or on Twitter, or on Facebook, or through YouTube. Either way, let me know. Let me know what you think. Anyway, yeah. Hope to hear from you. See you later.